This is ABTV, Animal Bites Television. For animal lovers, by animal lovers.
Hey, Brian from SnakeBytes here. It's been a while since I've been back here at my home base of BHB, so I'm just going to spend this time and kind of give you an update of where we are with things. You're watching SnakeBytes. So it's always an exciting time of year right now when the pythons are still breeding, boas are breeding, and colubrids are finally up. And there's a lot going on. Now let me just kind of fill you in a little bit where we're at with, say, the ball python breeding season. We have a bunch of new males that are up to size this year that we're really excited about. You know, and it doesn't have to be the most cutting edge thing to just be a cool project. Take, for instance, this Super Lorry pin. It's the first time that I've bred a mutation Super Lorry to other mutations. So I'm excited to start seeing what some of the other mutations in Super Lorry are going to start to get to. Or say, for instance, this one's a cool one here. This is a chocolate pinstripe GHI ball python. Now I think that's just an absolutely gorgeous snake, and you guys know that I like the dark morphs, so this really dark animal is really cool. And we got this animal into a couple mutations last year, like a chocolate pin GHI Woma, which was pretty cool. So this is going to be a really stud animal for me at some point. But to be honest with you, again, it doesn't have to be the most cutting edge animal in the world to still be really beautiful. Things even like the pastel bananas that several years ago were one of the most amazing mutations out there, and now have become relatively common, still are absolutely gorgeous. Or take, for instance, this bumblebee banana. I mean, my gosh, look at how gorgeous that snake is. That banana or Corigo gene is so beautiful, and again, it's a dominant gene, or maybe a co-dominant, there might be a super, but just look at how clean once you get the pastel and spider into it. So regardless, guys, it's just fun to start breeding things. But one animal that I am actually really excited about showing you guys right now, because everyone's always asking me, hey, how's Mr. Smooth doing? Well, I always try to update on Instagram and Facebook, but I'm going to show you guys right now. Let's see. First off, let's just take a quick look and see if he's breeding. Okay. I've got him in with this really good spider special right now, and here's Mr. Smooth. Now there's a few things I want to talk about with Mr. Smooth. First off, sometimes I hear some people think that maybe they didn't live, or they were deformed, or something went wrong. So I really want to take time and look at Mr. Smooth. Obviously he's a little more than a year old. You can see, let me even show you his hemipenes really quick. Take a look at this right here. You can see he's got his hemipenes, their breeding size. And the other thing some people are always concerned about is they think that somehow I'm hiding something with its face, like it's deformed, I'm only showing one side of the face. So let's go ahead and really seriously take a close look at both sides of its head. See that it's 100% healthy animal. You can see how it's moving around in my arms. There's nothing about it. Now, I'm not really sure why people like to make up rumors about the fact that he's not alive, or that there's something wrong with them and that I don't take enough pictures of them or something like that. But as you can see, Mr. Smooth is absolutely gorgeous. He's completely normal, and he's breeding this year, which is the most important thing. Now remember, he's a super mutation, so all of his babies are going to be scaleless head animals. So I'm hoping that he'll maybe hit his mom, which I've been trying to breed him to, and he hasn't quite got it yet, and we can get 50% scaleless. Worst case, we'll throw a scaleless head in with her at the last minute and hopefully get 1 out of 4 scaleless instead of half. So regardless, it's an exciting time. Let's go look at a couple other things. One of the things I want to cover when breeding pythons, and in particular ball pythons, is the difference in maturations of follicles, which is essentially just immature eggs that will hopefully develop into your first clutches. So take, for instance, this big honking female ball python right here. That's one beastie girl, isn't it? She just recently ovulated, which basically just means now she's pregnant and I don't have to breed her anymore. But the truth is, the girl right next to her, for instance, this Lorry ball python, is only at about 15 millimeters right now, which means that she's still probably a good month and a half or even 2 months away from ovulation. So Just because one girl goes doesn't mean that you need to stop breeding all your other animals, because everything kind of develops at different levels. The python breeding season can be a really long season, and some girls are gonna pop really quick, and you can start to see a girl like this. This is just a het for ghost ball python bred to a ghost Mojave spider, but you can start to see she's starting to glow or get really light and beautiful. That means that she's probably getting close to ovulation, whereas other girls right next to her might be still a couple months away. So when you're breeding ball pythons, you may start in November, you may be breeding all the way through June or July. So as long as females are receptive and your males are breeding, just go ahead and keep breeding them, because that's the best way to assure you're going to get clutches. Of course, there's a whole lot more than ball pythons going on at BHP, and kind of everything is breeding right now, which is really cool. Even things like our rainbow boas. I mean, you have the Colombian rainbows, which are obviously not quite as pretty, but still really beautiful animals, and live bears, which makes it really cool. But of course, the Brazilian rainbows are also being bred, and these guys are just gorgeous little guys. This one's in shed right now, but it's the breeding season. We bring the rainbow boas after the cool down, so right when they start to get warmed up, they go in together, and they'll breed for probably about 2 or 3 months, and then ultimately they're gonna have babies about 115 days after they actually ovulate. But just take a look at how beautiful that iridescent sheen that a Brazilian rainbow boa has. So it's always really exciting to wake up one morning, come in and check a cage and just see a bunch of little baby Brazilians. And of course there's things like, even like our Woma pythons here. Ow! Ow! That was a little bit unexpected. The one thing about Woma pythons you have to understand is that they're really heavy feed responses. These guys are super docile animals and are great, great pets. But as you can see, when it thinks I'm a rat, which obviously is what it thought, these guys can be a little bit aggressive. And again, that's a great lesson to you guys, is that when you open up a snake's cage, you should probably never just go into it like that, like you're a rat, or you're gonna end up with a snake on your hand like this. I tell you what, guys, this hurts pretty good. The one thing about Woma pythons are that they have a really strong bite. And this guy is hurting really bad. It's got me right on the finger, and look at it's wrapping me up like it wants to eat me. Come on, you little monkey. What are you thinking? I'm not a rat. Oh, trying to get it off is gonna hurt really bad. Oh, come on, let go, let go, let go. They have these little recurved teeth, so getting them off hurts. Oh, thank God. Whew. Man, I tell you what, I can feel there's some teeth in my hand too, so. Anyways, Woma pythons are pretty cool. I'm not gonna make the same mistake with the blood pythons, that's for sure. And again, look at these guys. Look at how pretty they are. But again, I won't make the same mistake that I made with the Woma pythons. Now that's a beautiful snake. I tell you, python breeding season is awfully fun. Even when you leak a little bit. I'm gonna go wash this up. Speaking about rainbow boas, we're working with this project this year, which I'm pretty excited about. These absolutely gorgeous leucistic Colombian rainbow boas. Now just take a look at that. I know there's a lot of white pythons out there, but that white boa is really, truly amazing. And I just love rainbow boas. Just kind of that sleek head and that thick, girthy body makes for an amazing snake. So this guy here is a male, and he's breeding some hets and possible hets this year. So hopefully in a few months, we'll have a few white little worms crawling around, which are really cool. Now another snake that is really cool that we're working with this year too, that I hope to breed, are these guys here. And these are Sabu pythons. Now this is kind of a small adult right here, so they can get quite a bit larger, but they're from the Indonesian islands, and they have those beautiful silver eyes. When these guys are born, believe it or not, they're bright red, so that's a pretty cool snake. But again, hopefully some Sabus will get some success with those this year. And then of course we have all our children's and spotted pythons, all the Anteracia stuff. This happens to be a children's python here. Now the children's pythons are a little bit more of a reddish look, and they actually, as they get older, these kind of spotting on them kind of fades out a bunch, and that's the difference really between a lot of the children's and spotted pythons, is the spotted pythons will stay pretty patterned as well. You can see as an adult here how much you can still see all of the spotting compared to the children's pythons. So of course it's always cool to produce these little Australian pythons. As a matter of fact, take a look at these guys here. I love these ones. These are actually granite spotted pythons. Now these are actually a recessive mutation, and again, instead of having normal spots, it has that kind of freckling on it, which makes them super cool. We produced these guys last year, so hopefully we'll have some more. But it's not all about boas and pythons. Believe it or not, there's a bunch of colubrids too. Let's go take a look. All right, so we literally just brought colubrids out of hibernation. Basically what that means is that they were down sleeping for a few months and they finally have woken up. The lights have come on, and just even feeling them, a week or so ago it was 55 degrees in this room and they were really cold to the touch. Now they're kind of room temperature, not quite ready to feed yet. We'll probably warm them up just a little bit. They're about 75 degrees right now. They're going to go up to about 78 to 80 degrees, and then they're going to start to feed and start breeding them. So all these little guys here that are just ready for the breeding season. Now of course, colubrid breeding season is pretty intense because you have to just continuously work on them. You got to feed them a lot. You've got to, you know, constantly be switching males and females around, but it's actually pretty fun. And there's all kinds of just really cool animals that it's exciting to see after 3 months of them kind of being out of my hair. You know, it's nice to have that break sometimes to get them in hibernation, but then when they come out, it's just really cool to start opening up cages again and seeing such cool animals, stuff like even these goini, which are blotch kings or Apalachicola County king snakes. They're always one of the more aggressive snakes as far as feeding goes, but are super placid as far as handling goes. This happens to be an albino version of it. What gorgeous snakes. And again, it's kind of neat being, you know, in the snake business, so to speak, that after a few months, it's almost like you inherit a completely new collection that you almost forgot about. But, you know, and then there's garter snakes, and of course, always one of my favorites, the Mexican black king snakes, which are just, look at how gorgeous those Mexican black king snakes are. I tell you what, I miss these little monkeys for sure. But I want to take you guys, come on, follow me for a second, because, you know, the colubrids are a lot of work and stuff like that, but Sam and Jessica over here are working. It's a disaster over here, guys. I'm sorry. When you're first out of colubrid season, things go nuts. But they're working on the leopard geckos. As you can see here, take a look at this. This is actually pretty funny. These are all actually leopard geckos that were being hibernated. Each one of these guys, like, hey, take a look at this guy here. These guys just came out of hibernation. Now with leopard geckos, we don't cool them down to 55 degrees. We cool them down to about upper 60s, maybe 65 at the very lowest, but we make sure they're cleaned out of food. And they only stay down for, you know, 6 or 8 weeks as opposed to 3 months. But all of these animals here need to be sorted out. And as you can see, Jessica and Sam right now are going through and kind of organizing things, getting things ready. These will all go into groups, and within a week or so, they'll be getting fed and starting to breed. So, man, we have our work cut out for us, but it's so exciting. I absolutely love this time of year. Of course, there's always a million projects that are kind of going on that don't necessarily fit into the mainstream of things, but I still love them nonetheless. Like this little guy here. Whew, these are definitely dodgy. And that's a tiger Amazon tree boa. Oh, it's such a pretty animal. And Amazon tree boas have always been one of my favorites for sure, even though they are a little bit feisty. But the tigers are a dominant or possibly even co-dominant mutation. And what a beautiful animal. And that basically just means that it has that really cool patterning and stripe. So as you can see, guys, it's a great time to be a reptile breeder, being able to work with all these animals, even if they are a little bit feisty. What a cool thing. So as you can see, it's going to be some fun times ahead. So make sure to follow along in the adventure. So there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It is awesome to be back home for a little while, although there's plenty of adventure ahead of us, and I'm always Facebooking and tweeting and Instagramming my way through it. So make sure to follow me over at SnakeBytesTV and on Instagram at SnakeBytes.tv. Until next week, you've been watching Snake Bites.
Hi, I'm Peter Birch, an Aussie bloke who loves wildlife. My respect for nature started when I was a young boy in rural New South Wales. Since then, it's exploded into an obsession. New episodes only on AnimalBytesTV.